Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are arting again, as we were doing for the past couple of weeks. Here's a deep thought for you. Arting is one letter off farting. Anyway, it's been a week, and see, this is what happens is I just cannot function and come up with anything to say. Today what we're drawing is this one has kind of a story to it. So last year for my conceptual illustration class, we had to take an art piece that was already existing and then essentially take the concept of the art piece and come up with a different visual, which is a funky fresh way of, doing that stuff. And I was like, that's fun. And I did basically 3 drawings that, took the same concept but different, visual or whatever. It was just sort of an exercise in like forcing you to think outside of the box, basically, and like how can you interpret the same idea in multiple different ways. When I was designing that illustration, I was kind of in a rut, so I went with a completely different visual. So it was hateful. I wasn't a big fan of it, and I'll show you what the previous illustration was like on the screen right now. Boom. Thank you, editor me. You're cool. I'm just gonna be editing this in like an hour or so. God. So yeah, I took a different, and I kind of hate it. I had so many versions of it, and I hated all of them. I don't know why. I don't know what compelled me to choose that for this concept. Oh wait, did I? I don't think I explained what the concept is. My brain is all over the place. Sorry. Like yesterday, I got the booster shot, so today I'm feeling a little woozy. Not sick, but I'm a little woozy, So the concept of this was sort of this idea of like using substances to treat depression. Not like actual medication, but rather like alcohol or whatever other drug you can come up with, like a quick fix. Not very Gucci, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't self-medicate with drugs and whatnot. Yeah, so that was the concept, and what I did was like, okay, let me break it down into these 3 ideas. Like, how can you, like, visualize that? I did a couple, some more cliche, some less cliche. I don't know why I didn't go with this one, because in execution, I like this one way more than, than the other one. But nevertheless, what I started is, essentially this is like a room. So when people are depressed, they usually have like a very messy room. Not that it's it's not a deterrent. You shouldn't feel bad about it. But it's just a thing, an idea, and I was like, because I think it has to do with people. Now, I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, but I think it has to do with this, with like messy mind creates messy environment type of thing. It is what it is. But when you're in a hole, you don't really have the energy to do anything. So, So that's sort of, I took this idea of like a messy room, and I essentially sketched it out, drawn it out, and made it this hot mess of a room with just a lot of crap everywhere, and like just clothing lying, like cigarettes or whatever on the floor. Just messy, dark, not nice, like kind of mucky. When you're depressed, that just sort of happens to your room. Again, not, and it just feels very like entrapping because of all this mess and whatnot. And so I took this room, which was very messy, and I was like, okay, well, let's have this person like on the floor crying. And I was like, what if not floor? What if the ceiling? So it's sort of like their person is stuck on the ceiling, cannot like function in that sense. Like there's just like nothing else will help me, and shit's terrible. Relatable. I thought it would be kind of interesting to have this like goo, which that I usually take depression depicted in a way of like this person is drowning and they cannot, get out of the hole. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like depression is more of like a force that's holding you in one place and does not let you out of it. Again, I think it's superficial to depict depression as sad. Rather, it's not sad, it's more scary, It's not just the feeling of sadness. It's more of a, I cannot escape, and it's holding me back. It's very upsetting. So yeah, I essentially wanted to connect this little person on the ceiling with these webs holding them to the ceiling and to the stuff. I don't know. I thought it would look neat that way. I actually messed around with color for a little bit, and again, the values, because it was weird looking for a while, and then I was like, okay, let me. I also did this thing where I used my actual sketch to like add a little more texture to the image. I think it looks kind of neat. I don't know. What do y'all think? It's just like very subtle. It turned out very subtle. Again, I played around with light and color a little bit, and value looked weird. Actually, for like the figure of a person, when I was drawing it, I like you probably have seen me at this point of like fumbling with like the way that the person should look like. I did like a pose or two, and it just looked weird in my head. And first I looked at like a reference of a person on Google, right? Because I have two monitors and I can do that, and it just wasn't exactly what I wanted. And then I was just like, okay, fine, I'll take a picture of myself. There was probably a brief pause when I was drawing the thing, and that was the time where I was like, okay, let me take a picture of my body laying on the floor. Here's the picture. Boom. Again, big advice for artists. If you have a pose in mind, probably take your own reference photos so that you can, like, first of all, you can feel the pose yourself, like if the tension is correct or anything. It just, it helps you when you know what you want. You'll be able to recreate it better than Google can. I did also do a couple of like, I don't know, mock trials, and I was like, I'm not really feeling what's happening here right now. So yeah, I value checked, and I was like, no, this doesn't look that good. Because the room needed to be dark for that, like, light blue to pop out and the character to pop out. Light blue, what? Well, the light blue and the character to pop out, and the spider webs of the things to pop out. Like, that way it just became much more impactful. I did this for a while, and then I decided to do, like, this, like, glitch-ish effect. I don't know, I thought it was quite neat to look at. I tried to make it not very, like, eyeball burning. It was a thing. It looked quite nice, though. Like, I actually like it. It creates this weird, like, ooh, glitchy. Like, it looks neat. I actually believe, yeah, I think I cropped it for a little. I don't remember what I did. It was such a flurry. Every time you draw, it becomes, like, a flurry of, like, what the fuck did I do? Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I got rid of the shading, but now I'm like, the shading was kind of neat, huh? Maybe I should have kept it. Just, like, with the way that the light is. Maybe I should have kept it. Wait a minute. I don't know. We'll see. When you see the render at the end of it, you're gonna see whether or not I decided to keep the shading or not. Because now that I look at it, it was kind of neat and created like fun, more fun depth to the art piece. That's about it. Before we bounce, real quick announcement. I am going back to school, so like the semester is starting again, the second semester for my second year. Pray for me. In art school, so I might be a little slower on putting out videos, so it might be like take me a longer time, but I think we'll have more like school related stuff and something to look out for. So, but yeah, this is about it. I hope that you've enjoyed my rant, my little mumble about my art, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.